15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRnetworks.com.
You know, you're an idiot. You're going to die tonight. You'll be ripped limb from limb. This is the last time I'll ever speak to you.
Thank you.
Cavebabble. Hello and welcome to Cavebabble episode 270. This week's episode, Dragonslayer. This episode is brought to you by the Wyrm of Thrace that makes things worse.
And boy, does it.
According to someone, anyway, that is what the dragon's name translates to loosely in Latin. The Wyrm of Thrace that makes things worse. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
That would be,
at least for that village.
Vermithrax pejorative.
Yeah, say that 10 times quickly.
Hi, everyone. This is Eric.
And this is Valerie.
Welcome to our podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Had a wonderful visit from our youngest daughter.
Never heard of her. You have a youngest daughter?
I think so.
Well, that's nice.
At least that's who she claimed she was when she visited this morning. Yeah.
Did she take anything with her when she left? Like, steal our TV or anything?
No. No, she didn't.
Well, I guess maybe it could have been our daughter then. I was afraid that maybe you let someone in that you shouldn't have.
You never know these days.
As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she just let herself in, so that could have been anyone, babe.
That is, well, to me, she looked like our daughter. Oh. And I treated her like my daughter. So if anything, I made her day, I hope, yeah.
If there's one thing you should know about us, everyone, is that we treat everyone as if they are our daughter. Even if it's a guy. We do. Okay, let's get into it. Speaking of stealing things, no, it has nothing to do with this movie.
Yeah, there's nothing being stolen.
It's someone's heart.
Oh, that's true. Virginity. Yeah.
If
people would just get it, if their virginity was stolen, that would have solved all the problems.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is very true.
Well, we'll get into that. Yeah.
We will? Yeah, I guess we will.
Maybe we won't. Yeah.
Yes, we will. We will get into virginity today. We are going back to 1981 for this one. Boy, Phew. That was a while ago.
Go to the Wayback Machine.
Oh, and I remember seeing this in the theater. What are we talking about? The 1981 fantasy classic. I think it's classic. Dragonslayer.
Only he can create a weapon worthy of the name. Dragonslayer. Like no other on this earth. Dragonslayer. Motion picture wizardry that takes you into the dragon's lair. Behold the beast. Pray for the hero and see. Dragonslayer.
Directed by Matthew Robbins.
Mr. Matthew Robbins is still alive. He was born July 15th, 1945 in New York City, and he got his BA degree in Romance Languages from Johns Hopkins University, and then shortly after got his Master's of Fine Arts at the USC School of Cinema, and after that's when he began writing his screenplays, and this was one of them.
He's mostly known, at least on this list as I'm looking around the same time as this movie, he directed stuff like Corvette Summer, Legend of Billie Jean, Batteries Not Included, stuff like that.
Yeah, now I think Batteries Not Included is probably of those the one that I probably remember the most. Mm-hmm.
Corvette Summer was the one that Mark Hamill played in that movie.
Currently, Matthew Robbins is working on Pinocchio. Pinocchio should be being released in 2021 sometime.
So a live-action version from Disney, maybe? Oh,
maybe, huh?
Oh,
it says it's a screenplay filming. It's currently being filmed.
Ah, okay. That's good.
So,
I guess. I don't know. I don't like all the live-action stuff that they are doing, but...
Yeah, we'll see what they can do with Pinocchio. That'll be interesting.
from the previews, I don't have the same problems with Mulan that some others have had. The previews look fine to me.
Same here. Yeah.
We'll go see it. I'm sure we will.
Yep, we will. Or if we don't go see it, we will see it. Yeah, we'll have to, like I said, we're picky about what we go and actually see on the big screen.
All right, what is this movie about? We should do that first before we go into the cast.
That's true, we should.
Okay. A young wizarding apprentice is sent to kill a dragon which has been devouring girls from a nearby kingdom.
And that's not quite right because, one, the young wizard was not sent. He chose to go.
After the wizard he was apprenticing under was killed.
Right, but he wasn't sent. Who sent him? No one sent him. He chose to go.
Yeah, he chooses to do a lot of things in this movie. As a matter of fact, he's kind of a jerk through a lot of this film.
Yeah, very true.
But anyway, yep, that's pretty much what it's about, though. Yeah, wizard's apprentice becomes the wizard and goes and tries to save a land where they are offering up virgins to a dragon to keep it at bay so it doesn't destroy their town.
Right.
Or their kingdom, I should say. And that's it. Thanks for all the downloads and listens, everyone. And
but this one holds all kinds of memories because obviously it was a time where you went to the theater with this with a group of friends and you hold it near and dear to your heart, right?
Well, it was with a group of family. It was with my sisters. We went over to Denver to my cousin's place. My cousin Ronnie went with us to the theater to see this. It was somewhere pretty near their place because I think we even walked over there, as I recall. Anyway, I have a distinct memory of seeing this, and Ron, probably because it was a Disney Paramount co-production, so he saw it as a Disney movie, I guess, and it wasn't what he was expecting, let's say that. Mm-hmm. And he's a born-again Christian, and he had real problems not only with how Christianity was handled in this movie, but it's kind of gross, and it has a little bit of nudity in it, and it has all the stuff that a growing body needs. And afterward, he apologized to me for taking me, and I was like, for what? I loved it, except for that one Oogie scene with the princess being eaten.
Yeah, and you said, and it still has a PG rating. It would not have a PG rating today.
It would probably be PG-13, yeah.
Probably PG-13.
Well,
yeah.
Definitely with the little bit of nudity. I mean, it's not much at all, and they had that in PG-rated films back then, but I'm sure it would be. Most everything is. Most of the live-action movies are PG-13, it seems like these days, so...
So before we get into the cast, did you have a note of who did the music for this?
Yes, I do have a note because it's Alex North, and I like Alex North's music. And as a matter of fact, babe, I know you didn't like it, but it was nominated for an Oscar. Did you know that?
Was it really? Yeah.
Yes, it was. You're in the minority.
Yeah, but I thought a little trivia on the music, which maybe because some of the music, the score for this movie, Alex North had actually composed it for 2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh, did he
that's
really?
Probably why in my ears it didn't fit. To me, the music didn't fit this genre, so that's probably why, because it wasn't originally written for this movie.
So you don't think it fits this film? I really like it. But there are some of the more comedic themes in it. Reminded me of what, clowns or something. I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, too campy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a little bit campy. But he did a lot of jazz work. He's written a lot of jazz as well. So I think that kind of comes from that side of him.
I think if this had been given a more serious score, it probably would have played out differently because, I mean, the story is a very intense story, and I think the music distracts from that.
I'll play what is on the opening credits, and you be the judge. Here. See? Okay, your results may vary. So who's in this movie? Who is the lead, the male lead in this movie? Everyone's favorite leading man, Peter MacNicol. That's no one's leading man, babe.
And the thing is, this poor guy, he actually does not even take credit for being in this movie. You will not even find it on his resume. He is embarrassed to even admit that he was in this movie.
Seriously? Is
Yep.
he? Oh, because I've read some interviews with him from that time, and it is posted, Peter MacNicol online. There's a little article about For Mithrax Pejorative, the story behind the scenes in the making of Dragonslayer. So it's on his site. So
It's on his site, but he doesn't list it on his resume. He,
Seriously?
His CV, the what they consider their resume.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I don't know why. It's not that bad. I mean, does he have Ghostbusters 2 on it? Because his performance in that is much worse than this movie.
He was a very powerful magician, Dr. Rinkman, and a genius in many ways.
Right.
I thought he was fine. I guess it's just nothing but Ally McBeal, huh? And it's like, yeah, I was in Ally McBeal. No, I don't know.
Sophie's Choice.
He's fine, but this is just like I said, as we were watching, is like, this reminds me of the tone of like the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which he is the Sorcerer's Apprentice in the movie as well. And with Luke thrown in there from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much that. And so he spends his time either, bumbling around or, I don't know. I can't tell if he's a jerk or if he just is ignorant sometimes.
Right. Well, I think it's confidence until he realizes that he's ignorant.
Something like that.
I can do this. And then, oh, wait, no, I can't.
Those around him realize it before he does, I think, sometimes.
Right.
Certainly someone else, Hodge, down below here, with who we will get to. I love him. So anything on Peter MacNicol?
No, he's still alive.
He was born and he's still alive.
He's born and still alive.
Oh, we probably shouldn't joke about that because I know...
No, we shouldn't. He was born in April 10th, 1954, Dallas, Texas.
He's a Texan. I didn't know that. I'm sorry that we mentioned that he's alive, or we're talking about life and death because of the next person on the list. We have Caitlin Clark playing Valerian, and unfortunately, she's not with us anymore.
No, unfortunately, she died at a very young age. She died, born May 3rd, 1952 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and died September 9th, 2004 at the young age of 52, also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But does it say...
Ovarian cancer is what she died of.
How sad, yeah. How sad.
Yeah, unfortunately. This is what I know her from, or I'm sure she's been in other things, and I would say, oh, that's right, she was in that movie, but this is what I know her from. Or him from.
Him for part of the movie,
As if you couldn't tell. Come on.
She's a graduate of Yale School of Drama.
Yeah, is she? She was a Yale.
Yeah, she was a Yale.
She was a Yale. Like that's. I'm a Yale.
She's a Yale.
That's right. Poor Caitlin. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, hopefully it's soon though.
As they say,
find a cure.
F cancer. That's right.
Yep.
Move on to a famous person. Ralph Richardson plays Ulrich the Wizard. Mr. Wizard. Ulrich. Sorry, Ulrich. I called him Ulrich. I guess it's Ulrich. Ulrich the Wizard.
I'm Ulrich.
Sir Ralph Richardson. So he was knighted.
He was knighted. That's right.
Born
so was
December
Patrick Stewart,
19th. Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's Sir Patrick Stewart, yeah.
Sir Ralph Richardson was the first actor of his generation to be knighted.
Oh, really?
He became Sir Ralph in 1947.
Of his generation. Who else did they put in there, I wonder?
Yeah, I wonder. And then quickly after, in 1948, Laurence Olivier was then knighted.
Yeah, okay. So they put him in there like they're the Rat Pack or something.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with Ralph. He's great. Actually, I've always liked him, and I guess maybe based on his role in this movie, because I don't know if I could recall anything else I'd seen him before seeing this. And I've noticed him since then and said, oh, hey, it's the wizard from Dragonslayer.
It's like, oh, hey.
Yeah. When did he die? Because it couldn't have been too long after this.
Yeah, correct. October 10th, 1983. So just 2 years after the filming of this. years.
Okay, so maybe that's why I don't know him from much after this.
Yeah. He had a stroke.
Oh, he did.
Died of a stroke.
Boy, they're dropping like flies. What about the next guy? Next, we have John Hallam as Tyrion. He's an asshole.
Yeah, he is. So, yeah, he deserved what he got in this movie. Yeah.
And I swear, just in this movie, he looks like Alec Guinness's brother to me in this film. He looks like a younger... He does. And he sounds a lot like him, too. But he's not. He was one of the Hawkmen in Flash Gordon, though. I know that. I remember him from that movie. But, yeah, what do you think of old Tyrion? Do you have anything on John Hallam? He was like Doctor Who. I think he was in Doctor Who.
He was in charge of the Light Brigade, and he lived to the ripe age of 65.
65, huh? That's a ripe age?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. It doesn't say what type, but he, too, succumbed to cancer.
Good Lord.
I know.
Is it the Dragonslayer curse or something? Uh-oh.
I just think it's a human curse, yeah. Or
Boy,
not human,
right.
The curse of life, yeah, because it's not just humans that get cancer. We know that other animals do, too.
Do they play roles in movies? Yes, they do.
Yes,
Animals
they
play
do.
roles in movies, too, so there you go.
Yes, they do.
Which brings us to the next one. Vermithrax Pejorative, playing herself.
Oh, really?
There's a there's an animal that played herself.
See? Yeah.
The Wyrm of Thrace that makes things worse. Herself.
In fact, they had a huge mechanical, so a huge mechanical version of her, and then several small puppets.
They even had one with a neck that Peter McNichol could jump down on top of and ride like a pony.
In fact, this was the first movie to use what they call go motion.
It was the first movie to do go motion? Really?
Yep.
Was it?
Yep, it was.
Oh, see, that's like a fancier version of stop motion animation.
Correct.
Industrial Light and Magic, did they start go motion? I can't remember who did that.
It was co-developed by Industrial Light and Magic and Phil Tippett.
So cool.
Yeah.
I guess, could I recognize go motion from regular stop motion? I don't know if I could.
I would think so, don't you think? Because stop motion is like claymation. This did not look like claymation at all.
No, I don't know what the difference is. Hey, computer, what is a good definition of go motion?
According to Wikipedia, go motion is a variation of stop motion animation which incorporates motion blur into each frame involving motion.
Okay, let's move on in the cast list. Next up, we have Peter Eyre playing Cassiodorus Rex. I love that name. That's the king. He's an asshole too, but...
Yeah, he is.
But I love his name. He has a great name.
And he does what a lot of rulers do. He takes credit for the killing of the enemy when he had nothing to do with it. He was probably, sitting in the comfort of his castle.
I love that, too, because that dead dragon had real entrails all over it, and he was slopping his sword through the middle of them. You know what? I bet that day on the set was a really nice... Actually, it's probably multiple days on the set. I bet it smelled great.
I bet you it smelled,
I bet it smelled great, because they looked real, right? That was all real stuff.
It did. It did. And they probably could get the entrails from their local butcher quite cheaply.
Yeah.
Like, free, here, please, take it.
And do you suppose they replaced them, or they just let them rot as they kept filming?
Yeah, they probably had saline in a spray bottle so that they could keep them looking moist,
He seemed like he was gingerly placing the sword amidst it, not just shoving it through. He probably learned, like on take number 4, that when he opened all that stuff up, I bet it... oh, boy. I bet that was nice. So, no, he played his role very well. He has, I don't know how to describe his voice. It's almost like he's half asleep most of the time. As he's just like, I'm so disinterested in everything that's going on.
So bored.
So bored. Are you as bored as I am? Oh, yes, I am.
How did you arrogate to yourself the role of savior?
I was invited.
Not by me.
But I'm bored because I'm great.
I'm bored, I'm great.
Yeah, because I was the only one who could make a deal with the devil.
Oh, what do you mean, my daughter's? Well, what? My daughter's part of the lottery? Oh, come on in here. I love you, wizard.
I've always had the greatest admiration for the black arts, you chaps with your mysterious spells.
Yeah. Yeah. There, I just described the movie.
There. Yep. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Okay, next we have Albert Salmi, I guess is how you say his name, as Greel, soon to be the religious leader of the town.
Yeah.
He's one of the only members of that party that had lines other than Valerian. So
that's true. That is true.
There were at least 4 dudes in that party that went to go get the wizard that we never heard from. They didn't have lines. We were never introduced to them. They were, in the boat and everything when they were coming back, but they had no reason to be there other than they are the party. So
here's some awful trivia on him.
Oh no, Albert?
Yeah, some awful trivia.
Oh no, babe.
So he was born March 11th, 1927 in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
He died April 22nd, 1990 in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
He and his wife died in a murder-suicide at their home.
Oh my God! Seriously,
yeah,
who was the murderer and who was the suicide?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it doesn't say.
Oh no, babe!
No,
I think it's the curse of Dragonslayer.
See, right?
Peter McNichol, run!
Here we go. On Monday, April 20th. Okay, although he was disappointed with his. Okay, on Monday, April 23rd, 1990, police found the bodies of Albert and Roberta, both dead of gunshot wounds.
Oh my God.
Albert had been shot in the heart. Roberta had been shot with so both shot with different guns. And so they really say they may never really know what happened.
Oh, so different weapons.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, babe.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Told you it wasn't awful.
Why do we do this? Why do we do this kind of trivia?
I don't know.
I just want to see them as the stars on the screen.
Yeah. See, it's like, oh, poor guy.
Oh, okay. Let's move on to someone I love.
Okay.
Fanning water!
What?
Fanning water!
Oh, yeah. This guy's a kick.
Sidney Bromley plays Hodge.
Stop it!
Love Hodge. For saying things like this.
So it's a test you're looking for. We don't do tests.
Oh my God, I am going to capture so many of his little sayings and put them throughout this recording.
Yes, this is Crackermore, and yes, this is the House of Ulrich, and no, he won't see you.
Yeah, because he's the comic relief. Well, I mean, there's not the only comic relief, but yeah.
He just has such a funny voice, and it's the same guy essentially that he plays in Neverending Story, and he has a distinctive look and a distinctive sound, and I don't think he lived long after this movie either, did he?
I'm sorry, you'll have to peel it loose.
Well, actually longer than the other. He was died August 14th, 1987.
Okay, so and he didn't kill anyone, did he, or anything?
No. Yeah, he died of a natural old age. Yeah,
he died.
So
he died of old man.
Old man, yeah, died of natural causes. Yeah, yeah. Though essentially we all die of pulmonary cardiac arrest. Right?
I'm sorry. I interrupted your. Did you know? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, at the same time he was filming this, he was acting in this, he was also acting in An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, and I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
I know. It's been ages since I've seen that one.
Yeah, it really has. And I'm sure that when I get to whatever part he's in, I'll say, oh, of course, I remember now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, don't remember him.
Picture that and picture him in that. Mm-hmm.
So Hodge, you'll hear more from him as we go along.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
We have Chloe Salomon as Princess. Oh, I'm sorry, Princess. Elspeth. Elspeth. Elspeth.
Now, out of all of them, I really enjoyed the character she played. Yeah,
Well, until she got shorter.
She was true and was righting the wrongs that had been done for years, unbeknownst to her.
Yeah, how could she go along that? I don't know. Was it every 5 years, though? I mean, she really wasn't that old. So I guess, I mean, she could have had at the most like 4 of these in her lifetime, 3 of these in her lifetime, probably.
Twice each year, at the spring and autumn equinox, the king selects a new victim. Virgins,
Well, and there again, they only were, so that was kind of, if you were probably looking for some inconsistency. So, right, if they did the lottery once every 5 years, that was the deal.
Twice each year.
Well, but then when she stood up there and and her father figured out that, all of these lotteries, all of these tiles have his daughter's name on it. She made the speech. It's like, it's in there for all the years that, I didn't get to participate. And it's like, but if it's only done every 5 years and they're only put there when they're actually of the age, I would imagine the age of menstruating,
right?
When they could, when it matters if they're a virgin or not. Like you said, she probably only missed out on
2 of them, maybe.
Yeah, 2 at the most.
Yeah.
Twice each year.
And
twice each year.
That's a good point.
But yet the bag was full of tiles and just her name. So I kind of think she went overboard.
I'm starting to think you both are wrong.
She probably just really only needed to put in 3 tiles instead of 1.
How many virgins could possibly be in that one small town? I mean, there were quite a few women in that circle that they had in the middle.
And there again, if it's to qualify to be the sacrificial meal for this beast, that's easily fixed.
I have a note. What does my note say here? My note says, I can think of one surefire way for young women to avoid the virgin lottery.
Exactly.
And I said, and it's fun too.
It's really easy to do.
Urland, or however you say there, Urland or Urland, could be known as the land of no virgins and one starving dragon.
Right.
Seriously, would you prefer that your daughter be killed by a dragon and eaten?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you maybe allow a little premarital sex? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Of course, I guess in those days you had a point that, both might have been seen as equally as...
right, exactly.
Like I said, if you have premarital sex, maybe they were stoned to death in those days.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
Do you want us to stone you or do you want the dragon to roast you? Emrys James plays Valerian's father, and that is what he is known as in the cast list. Valerian's father. He didn't have a name, babe.
Yeah, they never gave him a name.
Why wouldn't they give him a name? He's in it more than a lot of these other people.
Well, just like the first sacrificial virgin she was listed as victim.
Oh, and I don't even have her on here for me to say, okay, sorry, right. Victim.
Yeah, she was victim. And she was really good because she actually, like you said, she got out of those shackles.
Ugh. One of the most painful scenes in the movie. I always hated that. Oh, and she plays it up and it just looks like it hurts so bad.
Yeah, because she did. Yeah, she played that part very well. And all she got was victim.
Yep. Yeah. Well, at least she wasn't Valerian's father.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, too.
Whatever his name is. We have Roger Kemp playing Horsrick. Is that the King's Advisor dude? Is that who that is?
I never did figure out who Horse. Is he the guy that reads the edicts? Is he the guy that,
Right. Yeah, the one that did the drawing of the lottery.
Oh, that's true. Does the drawing of the lottery and then reads and so it be, here is your dinner, mighty beast. Please don't eat any more of us. Yeah.
Yea, verily, here is your dinner. Yea, verily, we have brought you...
dinner, yes.
We brought you another virgin.
Now be it known throughout the kingdom that this maiden, having lawfully been chosen by a deed of fortune and destiny, shall hereby give up her life for the greater good of Urland.
I did not spit on it, and duly be duly ordained, or
Verily, I say we did not spit on it. We promise. Okay, why does Vermithrax want virgins, by the way?
Good question. I guess they taste better?
I guess so, because Vermithrax isn't even a dude dragon.
That's true.
It's a female dragon, unless it reproduces without... Well, because who had sex with Vermithrax to have the babies?
Well, let's see, it's an egg layer.
I don't know.
Dragons are egg layers, yeah. So they lay eggs, and we just learned today that some eggs that are laid don't have to be fertilized by a male. Yeah. See, we learned that term today, and now I can't even remember what that term was.
Babe, could you speak slower and tell me about dragon sex?
Wow.
Please. No. Slower.
They lay eggs.
Yeah. They lay what?
And the eggs incubate somehow. They're incubated in fire. We learned that from Game of Thrones.
That's right, they are. We will talk more about this dragon because I love the design of this dragon. But we have a cast list to finish up.
Oh, do we? And I do have the name of the victim here.
Who is the name? Who is she?
Don't you have the victim on your list?
Well, I am on my notes list, not on IMDb list. So.
Oh, IMDb actually lists her. It's Yolanda Palfrey.
Thanks, Yolanda. It was great. You made us believe that your wrists were really hurting when you pulled them out. There's one very special person that I need to mention before we move on to our notes. And
my goodness. Before you move on.
What?
I tell you, it is.
Oh, no.
This movie is cursed.
Is it that actress?
She, too, died at a very young age.
Oh, my God, babe, no.
Yeah, she was only 54.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Poor thing. So she died April 9th, 2011 in England of a brain tumor.
Oh, my God.
I know. It is. This movie obviously was cursed. I apologize for all the actors and actresses of this movie.
I hate to even mention the next one, although I know he's still around.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We have Ian McDiarmid playing Brother Jacobus, or however you say his name. It's Emperor Palpatine, babe.
Oh, that's true.
It's Emperor Palpatine. We just saw him in the latest Star Wars movie.
He went far.
He did, and he was killed. He was soon dead, gonna bite it.
Yeah, because he didn't.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, he wasn't long in this. I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, he got stuck under a tree and was roasted.
Right off the bat.
No. Well, it was about halfway through.
That's true.
So, yeah, that was Ian McDiarmid.
He's come a long way from being that Christian preacher.
Yeah, Catholicism or Christianity in general. This is one of those films, like a lot of the fantasy tropes of the time, where it's almost the end of the magic time and the age of religion is starting to take over for all of the mystic ways. And this is one of those, and Christianity is not held in much high esteem by the magic users in this world.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, most of them get eaten or take credit when it's not due to them, and claim miracles when it was the wizard that did the trick. So anyway, it's one of those. But it doesn't beat you over the head with it. It's not like a major
not at
theme
all.
of the movie. So.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't distract you from the storyline, the plot line.
That's right. So stop writing your hate mail now. It's okay. Take a big deep breath. It'll be all right. Okay, I said this was a Paramount Disney co-production, but Disney was known for family fare and certainly not stuff like this. So this had to have been a shock to people, right?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what its final box office was worldwide, but it couldn't have been very much, I don't think.
Well, its budget was $18 million estimated, and its cumulative worldwide gross was $14. So it did not make back its budget. $14,110,000. Yeah, so
oops.
You say, oops, yeah.
Oops. Oh, well. I don't think it deserves what... I think quite a few people don't enjoy this movie, but then there are equal numbers that do enjoy the movie. I don't think it deserves to be slammed on.
No, not at all.
I think it's actually... I love this movie. I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I thought it held up well because, like you said, filmed in 1980 without all the technology that we have these days. I still enjoyed watching this very much last night. So
absolutely, yep.
And where it was filmed, you made comments about how you loved the sets and and the location of where it was filmed was just beautiful.
Yeah, it has
the landscape.
Excellent production design and excellent locations. It was filmed on Isle of Skye and also North Wales, I think is what I wrote down. And wow, there are some just beautiful places in this movie.
Yeah, beautiful shots.
Beautiful.
And beautiful sets. So, yeah.
Great sets, great locations, excellent animatronics, even though they hide the face and all you see is a foot for most of it.
Right.
When the dragon finally does show up almost an hour and a half into the movie, it's great.
Yeah, but that kind of helps draw you into the movie, I think. They do that with a lot of, look at all the Godzilla movies. There's many a times where, in fact, the last Godzilla movie, like we had already talked about, got critiqued that you hardly saw Godzilla at all. So I thought this had a nice balance.
Yeah.
It teased us a little bit and then finally, showed us the dragon, and we got plenty of dragon sighting.
Did you get enough dragon?
Yeah, we got enough dragon sighting.
And you didn't fall asleep, so thumbs up on that.
Exactly.
So that's good. That's good.
And of course, as we know, to create the dragon fire, they used a pair of military-style flamethrowers, of course. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. I thought it was just dragon fire. One thing that I did learn in this movie is I think I know why wizards aren't respected enough, babe.
Why?
In this world. It's the snake hats. I'm pretty sure it's the snake hat.
You think it's the snake hats?
I think it's the snake hat. Yeah.
It was a snake hat? I thought it was a raven hat.
Was it a raven hat? I thought it was a snake hat.
See? Oh, now we're going to have to look at it.
Dang it.
Because you saw snake, I saw bird. Yeah.
Yeah. And when Galen puts it on and is looking in the mirror, I thought it looked like a snake.
Okay. See, I saw bird.
It is a snake hat. A rather silly looking one.
I think you're right, and I'm wrong. Would you like me to cap that out of this show so that you could just play it over and over again?
Leave that in there. Yeah, leave that in there.
No, I mean, would you like me to capture that audio and just give you a clip so that you can just press a button whenever you want it? You're right, and I'm wrong.
Actually, never mind. I would like for Eric to be wrong as well.
Capture that, insert it in several podcasts from this day forth. No.
I mentioned as we were watching this that the tone of the movie reminds me of The Sorcerer's Apprentice or The Black Cauldron. Both are Disney movies. The Sorcerer's Apprentice, of course, is prior this movie, and it's very much inspired by that. I think in all of the apprentice scenes at the beginning with the wizard. Mm-hmm. But The Black Cauldron wasn't until, 85 or something like that? So that was definitely after this. Mm-hmm. But I think the tone of that, it looked like it could have been filmed. If they were doing a live action version of that movie, it could have been filmed right here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And did you know that this is the only movie released under the Disney name? Let me start
Disney
over.
Lame.
This is the only movie released under the Disney name that has frontal male nudity. Frontal male nudity.
Is that one of the trivia points?
Yep.
You can see his veg in Fruit and Veg as he's swimming, but it's not really obvious. It's not like this full-on, here's a close-up of
yeah,
this.
but it is still there. So, if...
Were you impressed? You got side boob in that scene, too.
You could go to jail if somebody checks this out from the library and is scarred. Not yet. You can't go to jail yet, but certain people have their way.
I would have to play it back in slow motion. Why would I? I'm not going to. But as he's diving in, I think you can kind of see a little something as he's diving in, too.
Frontal male nudity.
Besides just his bum. I don't know. As a matter of fact, you get more of him than you do of her. That's pretty impressive especially for a
Disney film. Yeah,
for a Disney film, because they're known for their nudity in Disney movies.
So is this in the children's portion of So
nope.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you better not have it up there.
Why? How much violence could I have up there, babe?
I know you can have all kinds of violence.
Are we going to have that discussion again?
Please don't show. I know. Yeah. Don't go there.
It's one of my pet peeves. People get so upset over any sort of sexuality at all in movies, but they will let all kinds of violence in their films and let their kids watch it, and they don't give a shit.
They'll let a kid see a axe to the chest or off with their head.
But if you show a nipple or something,
my God,
even though we all have them, by the way.
Not just women.
Even men do. But no, don't show that. Okay. There. I'm
Yeah,
off.
there.
I'm
off
that. That soapbox was tall. Sorry about that.
That was.
Okay, I wonder how many times that they tossed that dagger before it stuck just right in that wood.
Yeah, and I wonder if they ever did hit. Well, I wonder.
You wonder if Tyrion got hit every now and then?
Yeah. Or did they Photoshop that hand in later?
Do you suppose it was one and done? Somebody threw. I mean, they couldn't have thrown it from way up there. They only threw it from a short distance to have it hit that, I'm sure.
Or did they throw it, or did they do the usual where they push it out from the underside of the board and boop, there it is?
I don't think so. I don't think it's done backwards or anything, like they pulled it out of the wood. I don't think so, because there are reactions to it. I'd have to watch it again, but it looks like someone just, tossed it from, not very far up above. But it was fairly close to that guy's hand. And I wondered if, But anyway, it didn't look like there were any other marks. It was the only mark in the top of that wood was that one shot. So what'd they do? They put a new piece of wood in every time they tried a shot? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't nearly as difficult as I'm making it sound.
Yeah, I think they placed the dagger, because it isn't one full, it's not a continuous shot. So he throws a dagger, you go away, then the dagger's hitting the board. So yeah, they probably.
Oh, I know they didn't throw it from the window up there. They just dropped it from 5 feet above it, I'm sure. But to get it to nail just like that, in the right shot, in frame, in focus. That had to have taken more than just one shot, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You would think so. Anyway, Dragonslayer, now with more daggers, and we're going to talk about them for 10 minutes, if you don't mind. Okay, how did they do the hovering egg trick as he walked?
Yeah, how did they do that?
I know, I'm sure it was on a line. They had a string on it. But it was spinning. And
well, does he have one hand over the other?
No, he's going like all around it. So I think he's actually being careful not to have his hand above it, because that's probably where it was on the string. But they're walking through the woods as they're doing it. So someone had to have been up above them as they're walking. Or how did they do it? I don't know how they did it. So anyway,
or is it like the technology of magnets? Did he have just one magnet and one in the hand, another magnet in the egg, and it just kind of?
Well, if it was the magnet thing, usually the magnet thing is closer to. It's not like a foot above your hand or 6 inches above your hand. It's usually quite close, when it's the magnet thing. But I don't know. I'm not, not being a magician or anything, or not working on the effects for this movie. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
All right. So is Galen channeling Luke Skywalker or what?
Yeah, very much so.
He has his master at the beginning of the movie who is killed and comes back at the end as almost like spirit-like at the end. He's levitating things like all of it. Poor Hodge.
Yeah, poor Hodge.
In this scene.
Stop it!
God, I love Hodge. I love everything he says. Anyway, so yeah, he's doing all of that. It just reminded me of Luke, that's all.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, I have a question for you. Why does a dragon sound like a lion?
Well, he was in a den, so they both are den livers.
I'm an efficient liver.
Yeah, they're both den. Because that was the only wild animal sound they could
They do it all the time. I think they even did it for the tornado sound, some of the tornado sounds in Twister. They have like a cat. It growls. Anyway, it does it several times, and in some places, it's like they don't even have an effect on it. It just sounds like a lion. So,
does anybody really know what a dragon sounds like? I guess you could do see what I would think a dragon might be more lizardy, more of a lizard sound.
Well, we don't know what dragons sound like. If you think about it, maybe they sound like cats. Maybe they just sound like little kittens.
Yeah, but we have the Gila monsters. The Gila monster, Gila. Is that how you say that?
Gila.
The Gila yeah, they are dragon-esque.
Do they hiss?
So so you could maybe take the sound of that creature and then amplify it, 100-fold, because dragons are a bigger creature than that, but they're very dragon-looking.
And you get Godzilla's roar.
See there.
Yeah. Or In our case, Biscuit's roar.
Oh.
I recorded Biscuit one time as he was whining, and it sounded so much like Godzilla that I just lowered the sound and I added a little effects to it, and it sounded something like this. See? We have Godzilla living in our home, everybody.
Yep, we have the next monster voice right there.
There you go. I didn't know that was going to be part of Dragonslayer. But there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
They could have used that. Yeah, but of course, then they couldn't have because that's unique to Biscuit.
Yes, that is unique to Biscuit. Trademark.
Yep, trademark. If anybody would like to use that sound for their next monster, contact us at Cavebabble.
Okay, so I think you can answer this one for me, but it was bothering me throughout most of the movie, even though I've seen this a billion times. Why is Tyrion killing off people? I don't understand why he is killing off people in the party.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is he doesn't want the reign, the kingdom to end as he knows it. He obviously likes the virgins being sacrificed and peace with the dragon kept.
Well, peace with the dragon. I think that part I could buy. I think if they're thinking that a wizard is just going to piss the dragon off and make it worse.
And I think that's what he was afraid of. He was protecting the kingdom.
But why would he kill Hodge? Why would he fire an arrow at Hodge?
Did he think Hodge was the wizard step-in?
I don't think so.
Somebody shot me, but I can still talk.
He probably did. You maybe not think that the young boy? Yeah, that was what I was thinking. That he thought Hodge was the taking the place of the wizard.
I don't know. He's just like he's like the village bully who's just allowed to kill people every now and then.
Right. Kill whoever he thinks is getting in the way of putting the kingdom at risk. Mm-hmm.
But then he's just there for all the day-to-day life, even though he was just killing people in your party not too long ago.
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he got what he deserved.
Hey, everyone, if you would like to learn the right incantation for casting spells, just turn on the subtitles and it will tell you a spell in Latin, and it won't tell you what the words are.
It just says, yes, chanting in Latin.
Chanting in Latin. Oh, okay. Thank you for clearing that up for me. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't just put all these weird... No, I'm not. I would like to see all the weird words he was saying.
Well, yeah, because it probably wasn't Latin, and that's why they couldn't say, yeah. But there again, you wouldn't say chanting in Latin. You would just spell out the words, and everybody would realize, well, most of us would see it as nonsense.
Right, exactly.
People who took Latin would know it's nonsense.
Right, exactly, they would.
Tu saxum saxorum in adversum montem operum da in latibulum inquinatum draconis.
They probably know what vermithrax pejorative means too, and it probably doesn't mean what they say it does.
Russell would know Latin.
He would? You think you think Russell speaks Latin?
He does, don't you, Russell?
Are you holding out on us? Do you speak Latin?
Yep, he does.
Okay, let us know what that means, Russell. Do you think, the king set up this thing, right? He was the one that came up with this lottery business, right? Is that what you said? It wasn't the former king, it was him. He was the one that did it.
Yep, the former king was brother, cousin. Yes. Yeah. Anyways, relative. Yeah. He got killed by the dragon. So this guy, he was able to work out the deal.
I'm just not sure how he justifies this. Like he says does that sound cruel?
But your children were dying.
Only a few. Does that sound cruel?
Well, yes, it does. As a matter of fact,
does,
Your Highness, it does sound cruel to me.
Couldn't you have sacrificed goats? Why did it have to be, virginal daughters? You probably came up with that before he had a daughter of his own, I take it?
Well, they can't use goats because, seriously, who is watching them to see if they're virgins or not, right?
Right. Maybe dragons don't like goats. No, that's not true, because in Game of Thrones, they were eating goats, right? That was some of the complaints. Oh,
my God. I love how we're using Game of Thrones to justify something that was made in 1981.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I did notice when Emperor Palpatine was roasted by Vermithrax, whatever his name was, in the movie.
Unclean beast,
Get thee down! Be thou consumed by the fires that make thee!
I did have to say, in dad joke fashion, Christianity takes an eating. Speaking of the filming, I noticed that the corners of the screen of the film were kind of darkened, like almost like they were shooting through some sort of a filter or something.
Yeah, it gave like a frame effect.
Yeah, kind of that. And there's a term for it when you have that in photography, and I can't remember what it's called.
Vignetting.
That sort of thing is not a good thing when you're talking about photography. And I wasn't sure if it was just they had crappy lenses or were having issues with the lenses at certain times, or if it was an actual effect. But it's kind of cool. To me, it just kind of adds to the look of it, or adds to the feel of the film. And so it doesn't bother me, but it was pretty pronounced in some places, and in other scenes it was totally absent. So it made me wonder if they just had one camera that didn't work quite right. I don't know.
Good question.
I noticed something that I thought maybe was a cut that they made right before an accident. In the scenes where there were a couple scenes where Tyrion and his henchmen are riding their horses into town, and they go through this puddle of water anyway, and as they're coming into town. And the second time they do that, if you watch the scene, I'm going to have to go back and check it out, because I swear the last guy in line, right before they cut that scene, it looks like his horse starts to trip going through the water. And it looked like it was about to pitch him over the top of the front of his horse. And they cut right there. So I'm going to have to go back. It's probably not nearly as pronounced as I think, and this is all for nothing. But anyway.
And I did make a comment, too, on the scene where Galen is on the horse within the castle trying to escape. Boy, that horse had a wild eyes. It looked scared.
Yeah.
So it was that horse was, to me, definitely looked frightened while that scene was being filmed. So I'm not quite sure if maybe in those days, because they used to use tripwires and stuff that horse was definitely frightened.
Yeah, I don't know. And there was the one horse that takes a tumble outside as well, right in front of the camera. And I couldn't tell if that was a trip line or how they did that, but probably so. So mean, man.
Yeah, it is.
Tripping
but
horses.
They did, and they used to do that, but now they're not allowed to anymore. Yeah,
that's right. Oh, one thing I love is in fantasy films from this era is the sound of sword fighting. They have the biggest, loudest ching sounds. They sound completely unrealistic. And this one even had like sparking noises and going on because it was magical, It just reminded me so much of Excalibur. As a matter of fact, this was about there's that one distinctive, really loud ching sound from Excalibur that wasn't in this movie. But other than that, it could have. I mean, could have been interchangeable.
Right, and I was almost waiting for the lightsaber sound too, partly because so many sparks were coming off of the electric bolts were coming off of the swords. I was waiting for lightsaber noises.
And that's because thanks to Valerian's father, and that's his official name, by the way. Thanks to Valerian's father, who was the local blacksmith, who, thanks to him, Galen gets a spear that is a masterwork spear, obviously, that this guy created and for some reason keeps in a cage in a waterfall. Huh?
It's like, what?
I'm not sure why. It's like, this is the best thing I've ever made, and I keep it in this cage into this waterfall for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, then Galen uses his little amulet, his magical amulet on it, and imbues it with magical powers as well, I guess. It gives it even that much more of an edge. And yeah, you're right. Why doesn't it go?
Right. See, right.
You're mine, Tyrion. So it could have. I like Galen and Valerian's scene before when she goes out and she collects the dragon scales and makes him a shield. In that scene where she gives it, she essentially throws it at him. Okay, fine, go get yourself killed. See if I care.
Listen to me, Galen Bradwarden, sorcerer's apprentice. You're going to be dead. The dragon will be worse than ever. There will be more lotteries, and I'm not a boy anymore.
And you'll be eligible
because I'm still a virgin.
You know, you're going to go and be dead, and I'm going to be here and still be a virgin.
Yeah, and the dragon will still be alive, but yet you're dead.
And so, and that's when she thought that he was in love with the princess. I'm sorry, the princess.
Princess.
But he's not in love with the princess. He's in love with her, of course.
Princess.
Right.
So did they do it? Did they do it out there, babe? I want to know. Did they do it?
Well, I say yes. Yes, they did. Oh, no. I don't know.
It would have been the nice thing to do so that she didn't have to be part of the next lottery.
I shall die that many may live. I shall lay down my life for family and fellows. I shall go to my grave for the love of our king and his wise policy. And my name is...
Yeah, but who's going to? Well, I guess they would.
Who checks
they
them?
would just bring. Yep, they would just bring in the physician to confirm. Yeah, that.
We never saw the royal physician. Oh, good. This job again, huh?
No, darn.
Oh my goodness.
Really, I'm not a virgin. Yeah.
Special effects were done by Industrial Light and Magic. And it was up for an Oscar for the special effects, along with Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was also done by ILM.
Oh.
So they were in competition with themselves for
so
the
win-win,
Oscar.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Raiders of the Lost Ark won that year. I say that year, they were the only two nominated. So, yeah. But the final scenes when they're standing... at the top of the little peaks of the mountains and the clouds are swirling around and all of that. That reminds me very much of that final scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark when the Nazis all get killed. And that probably is why, because ILM did both of the effects for both of these films. Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit of continuity errors there at the end. That final battle is taking place during an eclipse.
Right. That lasts forever. The longest eclipse in the history of the world.
And then, of course, the wizard, also has summons a thunderstorm. So, it's really dark and dreary but when the dragon flies above the cloud cover for its final attack.
Oh, it's all bright and sunny. You're right. Yeah. I'm just now cluing in that's true. It was all sunny up there.
Yep. I didn't even catch it at the time of the movie, but I'm reading it as under a continuity error.
And they spend so much time emphasizing it too, because everything drops out and you just hear the wind.
Yep. And it's a beautiful shot, and you get lots of beautiful view of the dragon, but in full sunlight.
As a matter of fact, in that scene, I said, "Oh, that's a gorgeous thundercloud in the back. That big, tall anvil shape in the background."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
There should have been a solar eclipse going on.
Well, that eclipse lasted so long. They had time to climb like 3 mountains in the time that thing was going on.
Well, he teleported.
Well, he did, but then they climbed up.
Oh, that's true. They climbed.
He was nice enough to teleport up. He'll say, "Hey, I'll see you up there, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and go since I'm so much faster than you guys. Feel free to climb up the mountain.
Take your time.
Yeah, take your time. It's all right. You'll know when it's time." Why was Valerian just wanting him to smash that thing over and over again? He made it very clear that he would die with it. He would explode with it. The dragon wasn't anywhere near him. She just wanted him to explode the wizard, and I couldn't figure why.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she thought the amulet was going to explode the dragon, not realizing the connection to, she just was...
No, because the wizard told him it will destroy the amulet and me along with it, he said.
Right, but was she there when he told
Galen because she said, he told you to do it. Do it now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Silly.
Silly. God, this
silly
movie makes me so mad.
Just Can't you listen to simple instructions?
We've mentioned the animatronics, but I'll go ahead and say who it was that did this sort of thing. Brian Johnson led the team that worked on the various dragon models, specifically the model work for the dragons. And that dude's famous for all kinds of other movies. He did the model work for Space 1999, that television show. Mm-hmm. But he went on to do work on Alien. He did like all kinds of shots of the Nostromo and all of the ships and everything.
Oh,
He did that. He won an Oscar for that, along with his team. He worked on Empire Strikes Back. He got another Oscar for that one. He worked on James Cameron's Aliens.
Wow.
He just has all kinds of Oscars for his work. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. And and he worked on this movie too. And I bet he has it on his resume.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why the movie still holds up because, he did such a great job.
Right, exactly. He did do a good job. I like the cool flame effect when the wizard's coming back, when Ulrich or whoever his name is, when he's coming back. I liked whatever they did for that swirling effect. Before it got kind of fakey and his body was spinning around in there. It was that initial green vortex. Mm-hmm. They had to have filmed something that they whipped around and made flame like in a tube or something and filmed it because that looked really good. Oh, and the final thing, the Death Star explodes. That was the largest explosion ever. And it looked very much like the Death Star exploding.
Yeah, a lot of energy was within that wizard when he,
ILM did those effects as well. I wonder if I put those explosions side by side, which I wonder if one would look suspiciously like the other one.
I wonder.
Anyway, it was a really cool explosion.
It was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And boom, the dragon falls into the water. And finally, she's dead.
So the dragon falls into the water. But yet when the king comes to put his sword in the dragon, it's not laying in the water. It's laying. Yeah, so did they drag it out of the water so he could put his sword in it?
They must have. They just had Galen swim out there. He's good at that. He got naked and he swam out there and he pulled it back to shore.
Or maybe he did another Luke Skywalker and he just levitated it out of the water. Yeah,
exactly.
like the spaceship. Yeah, that's what he did.
Size matters not.
Yoda helped him. Yeah. You can do it.
Final note of the movie: if wishes were horses, his magic works even without the amulet, babe.
His wishes come true. All he's got to do is speak his wishes, and they come true.
You had the power within you all the time. Yeah, and he conjures a horse, and boom, and off they go together. Coincidence.
Just one last trivia on the dragon. George R.R. Martin, he's the author of the Song of Ice and Fire novels, which the Game of Thrones was based on. Mm-hmm. He actually, one of the deceased dragons that is mentioned in the first season of the series by Viserys Targaryen was named Vermithrax.
Oh, of course it was.
Yeah, and he named it that specifically because he felt that the dragon in this movie was one of the best dragons ever shown on film.
I absolutely agree. I loved the design of this dragon. And it was one of the first ones, as a kid that I saw in a movie and said, yes, somebody got a dragon right. That's exactly how it should look. So, yeah, very much so. This is a famous design and it should be.
So that was the last of my trivia.
We streamed this on Amazon Prime and it was the best I've seen it look. So you can do so too. Go over there. Check it out. Recommended from Eric. I don't know what Valerie thinks, but definitely thumbs up from me.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've always enjoyed this movie.
Except for the music.
No, the music is just fine. If you'd like to share your thoughts on this film and especially the music which you love and you will tell Valerie all about, you may do so cavebabble@gmail.com or head on over to cavebabble.com, see a listing of our shows, and check out another one. Please subscribe to us on, I keep saying iTunes, it's not iTunes anymore. It hasn't been for some time. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Search for Cavebabble Podcast and it will show up. And if you like what you hear, please give us a review. We would appreciate it. We are part of the PNR Network's family of shows, which includes all the 50 kabillion shows that T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown are part of. And as a whole, PNR Networks has a patron circle over at patreon.com/PNR Networks. For $5 a month, you could earn exclusive articles, podcasts, giveaways, get-togethers, online meetings and chats, special merchandise, and more. Head on over to patreon.com/PNR Networks and check it out. We would appreciate it. You may also join our Facebook group. Search for Cavebabble Podcast, ask to join, and we will accept you. We promise. And that's about it. All right, everyone. Thanks for all the downloads and listens. And until next week, we're out of here.
Goodbye.
Hide your virgins. No, don't. Yeah, hide your virgins.
Hydra virgins.
Hide your. Yeah, I kind of. Yeah, that does sound like I said Hydra, huh?
Hydra.
What is a Hydra virgin?
What is a Hydra?
All right. Bye-bye. Cavebabble. Back by popular demand. It's potty time with Valerie. It's potty time with Valerie. I don't remember what I sang last time, but now it's different. It's potty time with Valerie. Will she potty? Yes, she will, because you just told me that she was going. And anytime now, I will hear it flush. Boom, 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 flush. What kind of a voice was that? Flush.
So much better.
Are you all better now?
I am. Mm-hmm.
You should probably listen to the end of our last show, by the way.
Oh, no.
No reason. No reason.
Go home.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRnetworks.com